Hi students, welcome back to the Google Classroom of Plus 1 Statistics, Chapter 2, Collection of Data. How are you children? I hope all of you are fine and safe at home. How was your exam? Okay children. In the last class, we have learnt about the topic questionnaire. Today, we will focus on different topics like the two types of questionnaire and the mode of data collection. The most common type of instrument which is used in survey is questionnaire. And there are two types of questionnaire. They are close-ended questionnaire and open-ended questionnaire. And there are three basic ways of data collection. They are personal interviews, mailing questionnaire, and telephonic interviews. Let's study all these in detail. So watch the slides. What are the different types of questions in questionnaire? They are close-ended questions and open-ended questions. Then first one, close-ended questions. What do you mean by these close-ended questions? They are easy to use, score, and to codify for analysis because all respondents can choose from the given options. It could be a two-way question or a multiple choice question. When there are only two possible answers, it is called a two-way question. When there is a possibility of more than two answers, it is called multiple choice question. Then next one, open-ended or unstructured question. Open-ended questions allow for more individualized responses, but they are difficult to interpret and hard to score since there are a lot of variations in the responses. So open-ended or unstructured questions, it could be a descriptive type when a person gets a chance to talk more about any topic. What is the difference between close-ended and open-ended questions? First one, close-ended questions. Easier to compare responses. Then what about open-ended questions? Detailed and qualified responses. Then quicker and easier answers. Unlimited possible answers in open-ended questions. Then easy to interpret, but difficult to interpret these open-ended questions. Easy to score and difficult to score. Easy to codify for analysis, difficult to codify for analysis. Then example of close-ended question, do you smoke? Example of open-ended question, what is your view about globalization? So children, study well the differentiation between close-ended and open-ended questions. Next important topic is mode of data collection. Personal interviews, mailing questionnaire, telephonic interviews are the important modes of data collection. First one is personal interviews. This method is used when the researcher has access to all the members. The researcher or investigator conducts face-to-face interviews with the respondents. So these personal interviews, in this method, the investigator conducts interviews with the respondents and obtained required information. There are two types of personal interviews. They are direct personal interview and indirect personal interview. Direct personal interview means the investigator conducts face-to-face interview with the respondent. Direct personal interview means the investigator conducts face-to-face interview with the respondent. You have already seen many direct personal interviews with the stars through these social medias. The next one is indirect personal interview. Data is collected by interviewing third person who are directly or indirectly concerned with the subject matter of inquiry. They are witness to the situation. So children, what are the advantages and disadvantages of these personal interviews? Advantages: high degree of originality. Information is reliable, easy to administer. Elastic method as necessary adjustments in the set of questions can be made. Then children, what are the disadvantages of these personal interviews? First one is costly and time consuming. Then cannot be used where area of study is large. Then highly prone to personal biasness. Biasness means errors. It requires that the investigator is skilled and trained. So these are the main disadvantages of this personal interview. The second mode of data collection is telephonic interviews. In this method, the investigator asks questions over the telephone. As the name indicates, telephonic interview. In this method, the investigator asks questions over the telephone. Then what are the advantages and disadvantages of this telephonic interview? First one, cheaper and takes shorter time. They allow researcher to assist respondents by clarifying questions. Helpful where respondents are reluctant to answer questions in personal interview. Then what are the disadvantages of this telephonic interview? Abstract visual reactions. Then excludes the population who are not having telephone connection. So these are the two main disadvantages of this telephonic interview. The third method of data collection is mailing questionnaire. In this method, the required data are collected by mail. The questionnaire is sent to each respondent by mail with a request to complete and return it by a given date. Then what are the advantages and disadvantages of this mailing questionnaire method? It is less expensive. We know there is no charge for sending mails. Then allow access to researchers in remote areas. Then allows respondents to take sufficient time to answer. Then what are the disadvantages? Possibility of misunderstanding the questions. Produces low response rate. Sometimes data are not reliable. The next one is pilot survey or pre-testing. Once the questionnaire is ready, it is advisable to conduct a tryout with a small group, which is known as pilot survey or pre-testing of the questionnaire. The pilot survey helps in providing a preliminary idea about the survey. So, what is pilot survey? It is a trial survey which helps to test the effectiveness of the questionnaire on a small group. Once more, it is a trial survey which helps to test the effectiveness of the questionnaire on a small group. Then, what is the importance of this pilot survey or pre-testing? First one, it helps in pre-testing of the questionnaire so as to know the shortcomings and drawbacks of the questions. It also helps in assessing the suitability of questions, clarity of instructions, performance of enumerators, and the cost and time involved. Let us conclude today's session by recollecting all the concepts. Which is the most common instrument used in surveys? Questionnaire. And there are two types of questionnaire. Which are they? Close-ended questionnaire and open-ended questionnaire. And what are the modes of data collection? Personal interview, mailing questionnaire and telephonic interview. So children, study well the advantages and disadvantages of all these modes of data collection. This is very important question. So children, please note that the corresponding URL and notes of the lesson and test paper are also attached along with this video. Make use of all these available resources. Study well and attend the test paper without fail. Thank you.